For more than 20 years, My 529 has helped families invest in their children's educational future. For more information about the benefits and risks of investing in My 529, visit my529.org or call 800-418-2551.
Welcome to Money Making Sense, the show that talks about all things money. We are in the middle of our 10 tax tip series. It's our annual 10 tax tip series. Today joining me is Troy Martin. You're with Cook, Martin and Polson. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So we are here to talk about electronic filing. Now, isn't everybody doing electronic filing? I mean, is this something we really have to talk about?
Most everybody does, but there's a select few people that don't want to or want to elect out of electronic filing. And in certain circumstances, you have to paper file.
Okay, who would have to paper file?
So somebody that's had their identity compromised with the IRS. So oftentimes, last year we talked about fraud.
Yeah.
So if somebody's fraudulently filed their tax return for them prior to them filing, then the IRS will contact them, or when they try and file, there will be an error, and then those people have to electronically file, and they have to identify verify their identity with the IRS in person.
Okay, so I would have to send in all my paper. What if I have 10 billion holdings and all this stuff, and your filing is like this thick? You still have to do all of that on paper if your identity was taken previously?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and then how do I tell the IRS it's really me?
Well, you would have to go visit with them in person and bring, I believe it's two verifications of identity, so like a birth certificate and a photo ID.
Okay, so aside from that, for the most part, everybody is doing electronic filing.
Yes.
What if somebody comes in, it's just a very simple 1040, and they go, oh, I don't want to electronically file. What do you do?
Well, if we're preparing it, we're going to encourage them to electronically file. We don't charge any more to electronically file. And the advantage to electronically filing is that our software that we prepare tax returns will verify the information and run diagnostics on it. And then when we transmit the tax return to the IRS, they do the same. So they verify information, Social Security numbers, which they can check against their database, and they can let us know immediately if there's a problem with certain things. So it's a big advantage to file electronically. And
do you get your refund, if you're getting a refund, do you get that any faster doing electronic filing?
Absolutely.
Well, so that's a big one for me. I want my money fast.
Yeah.
So I get it the next day.
Not quite the next day.
Oh, okay.
Certain tax shops will do what we call refund anticipation loans, and they will loan you the money the next day, but then they'll take your refund when it finally comes to pay back the loan. But it's a usually really high interest rate that people have to pay to do that, so it's usually just better to wait. It's about 10 days to 14 days to get your refund on average from the IRS, unless there's something on your tax return that takes them a little longer to process it, but it's a really short period of time.
Okay. What are some other benefits to doing electronic filing versus paper if you're able to do the electronic filing?
There's a couple of things. For example, if your child is applying for FAFSA and wanting to get a student loan or some student aid, if it's filed electronically, it'll appear faster on their system, because when they fill out the application, then they can link those systems and download your tax information. And another reason is you have proof, that you filed, because there is an acknowledgement that the IRS sends back to us that they've received and accepted the tax return. So there's a few advantages.
I like that. And also, so if we do go to a CPA, almost all the CPAs these days, they're all doing electronic filing because their software takes care of any issues that may have arisen. That's dealt with before it even gets to the IRS. And so the IRS is more apt to just go, oh, it looks great, and just do what it does.
Yeah, they'll accept it. It'll be more accurate. The statistics show that it might be a 1 or 2% error rate on electronically filed returns. There's usually no arithmetic returns or problems, as opposed to a paper filed returns where people are doing everything by paper. Then there can be arithmetic problems and just not carrying all the lines through properly. And the other risk you have is if you file paper, somebody at the IRS has to take that form and input it into the computer also. So you're going to have several layers of potential errors.
Yeah, data entry errors.
Right.
Just typing and I hit a 3 instead of an 8,
Yes.
which could be a big difference on my refund.
And that's happened before. You know, I've been doing this for 28 years, and those kinds of errors have occurred. And they're kind of difficult to get resolved.
And on top of all that, we can be green. We're not cutting,
Yes.
like destroying trees.
Yes.
By doing okay, we like that. Right. Thank you so much, Troy Martin. Again, you are with Cook, Martin, and Polson. So if anybody needs to get their returns done, especially through you, electronically, we can go there. And if you do need your own certified public accountant, go to uacpa.org to find the one that's right for you. And you'll get the most out of your tax preparation when you use a certified tax preparer. So go to uacpa.org. That's Utah Association of Certified Public Accountants.
Thanks for being a Money Making Sense listener. Follow your common sense on the social media. Money Making Sense on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.